to recap, on the first day, we tried to gently tell you a little bit about VPP. On the second day, we made you work a little bit using commands. I mean, running VPP, compiling, that was not easy, but that was okay. Today, we brutally tried to put as much as we could in your heads, as much code as we could, and I hope you look okay from here, and I hope you learned a lot. Tomorrow, though, it's not over yet. Tomorrow we are going to talk, you are going to have a few presentations about VPP use cases and experience of people that actually used VPP, how they developed. So we will have, for instance, a presentation from Damian, who is obviously old long developer in VPP, but he's going to talk about one of the things he did early when he worked on it. We will have a presentation from Ule and other presentations. Right now, before we stop really looking at the code, it's the occasion for me to explain you how you can contribute. So when you go back home, that you are well equipped to know what to do if you want to help with VPP. It goes from filing bugs to actually contribute code and maybe become committer, etc. So this presentation is about how do you want to fix stuff that doesn't work. So first, it's a little bit the same thing as I explained in the first day, but I'm going to go in more details. The first thing you want to do is to create a Linux Foundation ID, because every system we have in FD.io, the Gerrit, what else, the wiki, etc., they all use the Linux Foundation ID. So you want to make one. You can use your Google ID, GitHub ID, OpenStack ID if you want, or create a specific Linux Foundation ID. So everybody knows Git. I'm not going to explain anything about it. Obviously, all the projects in FD.io have a Git repository. So you can see the different projects who exist. Well, at this stage of the training, you know how to clone VPP. Obviously, you can do it either with HTTP or SSH. On the screen right now, you see what I showed as well on the first day, the amount of commits per week. That was generated with gitstat. It's quite easy to do. And we have like between 10 and 30 commits per week, so it's very active. So in Honeycomb or VPP or CSIT, those three are really the projects that are most active. And we have new projects coming up, like the Transport Layer Development Kit, NSH, VPP Sandbox again. If you have small projects that you want to do, you don't want to create your own FD.io project, because there is I mean, it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of effort to create a wiki page. You just want to start a plugin. It doesn't need to be really approved by the TSC. It's a way to upstream some code easily. You just each what we call effort is one subdirectory is in the VPP sandbox project. And if you want to create your own effort, you just push a patch with a new directory. In that directory, you need to put a README file where you describe what you intend to do. And you get the occasion to have your code reviewed by people that know VPP, so they can help you. And you get attention, so you will be able to be visible on the FD.io project pages, so you can try to get more people involved in your project. It's a temporary solution, though. The idea is just to give you a temporary place where you can host your code and get review and feedback. But then, I mean, once you get some committers, some people interested, then you create your own FD.io project. It's not that complex in the end. We don't use Git directly. Instead, we use Gerrit. Some of you don't like Gerrit. Oh, he's gone. Okay, the guy who doesn't like Gerrit is not here anymore. He couldn't bear it. So the principle, it's really easy to use, actually. actually, when you go to the Gerrit, Gerrit.fd.io, you go to a project, you will find a command which tells you how to clone the projects, and actually you will find a command which tells you how to clone the project and get this crazy complicated commit message hook, which is just a script that you want to be put in a specific place in your Git repository. It's like you want it to be put in the .git/hooks. So there is you just need to copy paste it. So it's a script that you put at the right place in your Git repository, such that every time you do a commit in your Git, it's going to auto generate the change ID. So that's necessary when you want to push a patch. Every patch that you want to propose to the Gerrit system needs to have a change ID. It's unique, and it's used such that when you get, like, you propose a patch, you get some feedback on the Gerrit website, and then you just need to do git commit -- amend to modify your commit. And when you modify your commit, it's going to keep the same change ID. So if you push it again using, for instance, this method here, like git push origin, so that's the branch. That's a weird branch, refs/for/master. It's the way you tell Gerrit that you want your branch to be proposed. It's not like you do not push upstream. You propose it for the branch that is called master. If you have another branch, well, it becomes ref/for/ the name of the branch. Some people use Git review. I'm actually not really used to do it, but you can check out Git review. It's a Git extension, and you need to configure it just to tell it what is your Gerrit repository. There is a little configuration, and then you just need to do Git review, and automatically it gets pushed, rather than using this magic formula. The second important thing when you push a commit to Gerrit is to sign your commit, and in order to do so, you just need to do commit -s instead of commit. You just need to add the -s argument, and it's going to add this line at the end of your commit message, signed off by someone, I mean you. And then you just push, and it gets added to the Gerrit system, and then people eventually are going to look at it and tell you if it's okay, if you need to make some changes. And those people, so because I just asked a question about that. The people who review the patches are the project committers. So depending on the project where you push the commit, it's not going to be the same people. Only the committers get to review the. Well, no, anybody can review the code. Anybody can do +1 just to thumbs up, approve your patch. But only the committers can do +2, which is necessary to have a patch approved. And one of the committers also has to do a review, I mean, press a button and then press merge. And that's the process basically for a patch to be merged. So sometimes you will get comments like for a given line, I mean, and maybe you have to change something. When you get a comment and you need to change something, you just need to go back to your Git repository, you change your code, and then you do git add with the files you modified, and then you do git amend, git commit -- amend, and that's going to give you as well the possibility to change the commit message if you want. And so that's going to modify your last commit, and then you do that again. And because you did amend, the change ID is the same. So you push again. It's not going to create a new Gerrit patch. It's going just to modify the patch you just had. Next point is Jira. So we started using Jira quite recently, like 2 months ago. Like 2 months ago, there was almost no entry in Jira. Jira is used to track bugs, features, problems that you may have, anything that requires someone from the VPP team to do something. It's basically the way you can ask for it. And as long as the entry is not marked as resolved, it stays there. So it's frustrating for the VPP guys. So hopefully they will do something about it and try to solve the issue. When you create the entry, you can basically fill all the fields you want and the way you want. If you think your bug is very important, you can give it a priority high. If you think it's not that important, you give it a priority low. You have the description where you put all the details you want. If it's a bug, please provide as many logs as you can. And same thing, VPP developers, contributors will try to look at it and solve the problem or add the feature you want. And please do that when there is bug. We need you for that. And for those who want, please fix bugs. That's even more useful. Next point is about Jenkins Jobs. So you will find Jenkins.fd.io. It's this little guy here which does a few things to help us with the development process. So it automatically builds every single patch that is proposed to Gerrit. You will it's going to try to build it on different platforms, and it's going to tell you on Gerrit and by mail. So it's going to spam you to tell you either it succeeded or it failed. Every time there is a comment on Gerrit, because it uses basically the same API as when people do comments. So every time you get a comment on a Gerrit patch, you get an email, and it's the same for Jenkins. Eventually, I think Jenkins is also the guy who automatically asks for testing of every patch, so the functionality testing, and when the patch is upstreamed, then for the performance testing using CSIT. CSIT. So they talked about it. So actually, I'm tempted to just go to the next. Well, you got all the explanation you need. The idea is just to know when someone makes something that makes VPP slower. The idea of CSIT is to know what happened, know where it happened, and know who is responsible for it, such that we can change it. The idea behind it is that we don't want VPP to be fast today and slowly gets slower every time we add a feature and adding branches everywhere. And I mean, it's a bit like Linux kernel. It is slower than VPP, not because it's crappy code. It's because there are so many features and so many branches everywhere. And VPP is also fast because we have less features. That's what we do. And well, then you have all the tricks like dual loop, etc., etc. It's more optimized, but in the end, we don't want VPP to get slower and slower with additional features. Finally, because we are geeks, we use IRC. Please join the channels, which are so these are the mailing lists that you can join. So the website, I think, is like mail.fd.io, or actually I don't remember. Does someone know where you can subscribe to the list? Well, mail.fd.io or mailer. Oh, thank you. I actually put it here. That's because I have a bad memory. I remember to put things on slides, but then I forgot I put them on slides. So you can subscribe to these different lists, and you have, for each project has a IRC channel as well. You can join and ask questions there.